planning, and eventually perpetrating the war. Smoking guns and mushroom clouds. That's our professor. The Center for Public Integrity has calculated that, overall, the Bush administration made 935 public false statements about the national security threat posed by Iraq. Of those 935, our illustrious professor made 56 false statements. Aggressive war and a breathtaking tragedy. Hundreds of thousands have died as a result of the war. By some estimates, well over 1 million. Over 4 million refugees, lives broken across an entire region of the planet, a humanitarian catastrophe, and still ongoing. That's our professor, who's having a signing party in the bookstore. In the end, for us here at Stanford, I think it comes down to asking, what sort of a world do you want to live in? And what sort of a campus do you want to study in? The horrors are not over. Violence in Iraq continues. War in Afghanistan escalates. Bombings in Pakistan escalate. Foreign policy goes on with the new president as it has gone on for a long time, and it is not pretty. Before Iraq and Afghanistan, there were interventions, just to name a few, in Panama, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Libya, Grenada, Angola, Guatemala, Iran, etc. The list goes on, and it's bipartisan. There is plenty to push the president on, and on the question of prosecuting torture, he is possibly wavering. He's been hedging. He needs some backbone, but we can help him give him some backbone. Imagine what a message a strong stand by Stanford students on campus could send. Because for us, this is not an abstract question. For us, this question has come home. Today, it has come home for a book signing. I think it's important to realize that in calling for prosecutions, we are not looking for retribution. The most important thing is to make sure that the horrible episodes we have seen, war, torture, aggression, violations of international law, do not happen again. How do you ensure that they do not happen again? By letting anybody who is thinking of doing it again know that if they do it again, they will be prosecuted. And how do you ensure that? By prosecuting those who did it this time. The best way to put the past behind us is for people to face accountability now. It's also the law. Article 12 of the Convention Against Torture requires investigations, whether there is reasonable ground to believe torture has been committed. But we have to ask ourselves some questions. How can we change a culture where such a professor considers herself able to invite herself over to a book signing party where dozens will sign up adoringly? Somehow we have to grow up. We have to realize that not every adult around here, not every authority figure is someone to look up to. Somehow we have to get people to think about their place in this world, their place at this university, and the place of this university in the world. Considering the role of this university in the power structures of society, what do we want to be, and how can we make it so? So I invite you to join with us. Work with the coalition that is coming together to work on this issue, to work for justice, for accountability, and for peace. After all, we all live here, and it is the responsibility of all of us. Thank you.